Forget the flat close on Wall Street. That's noise. The real signal, the one that's going to dictate the US Open, was printed in Seoul.
The KOSP popped 4.1%. Now look, this isn't just a market move. This is a funded signal. We're talking a 2.7 trillion won capital rotation. See, that's not just random noise. That's a massive directional bet being placed with immense financial weight. And you gotta appreciate the precision here. This is not some broad market rally. No, this is a targeted strike, a capital injection straight into the semiconductor supply chain. This is a predictive signal for US tech. Plain and simple. So what we're actually witnessing here is a structure I call global proxy leverage. Essentially, Korea's market is being used as a high beta amplifier for US big tech before the US market even rings the opening bell. Think of it like this. It's a mechanism that lets global funds front-run the expected price gap in US assets. They're using Korea to build a position now so they can profit from the move they're anticipating in New York later on. And here are the targets. This is brilliant. Global capital isn't just guessing. They're using Samsung and SK Hynix as direct proxies for what they expect from Nvidia. The correlation, the row, between these strategic tech partners and Nvidia, well, that's the absolute core of this entire operation. And let's be clear, this isn't speculation. This is a calculated, massive capital injection straight into the upstream supply chain. What these funds are doing is essentially pre-funding their Nvidia thesis through its most critical partners. Okay, so let's deconstruct this signal. There are three core drivers that are powering this entire mechanism. The whole thing unfolds in three stages. First, a verification vacuum that forces capital to find clear signals. Second, basis-driven arbitrage that just pours fuel on the fire. And third, a really powerful FX equity feedback loop. Let's break down how this all stacks up. So first up, there's a vacuum. US macro data is delayed, right? That creates uncertainty. So what does capital do? It ignores the fuzzy big picture and it follows the clearest, strongest micro signal it can find. And right now, that signal is the demand story for companies like Nvidia. Then the machines take over. All this aggressive buying in futures contracts for both the Nasdaq and the KOSPI, it creates a price gap. The futures start trading at a premium to the actual stocks. Well, that automatically triggers algorithmic systems to jump in and buy the underlying stocks to close that gap, capturing a risk-free profit and just amplifying the entire move up. And the third driver, the FX equity feedback loop. A 9-point drop in the US dollar to Korean won exchange rate, well, that's a powerful accelerant. A strengthening won offers a double win. You get gains from the stocks themselves, plus extra profit from the currency moving in your favor. Okay, so we've taken the signal apart. Now let's translate it. What does this Asian signal actually mean as a probabilistic forecast for US assets tonight? This is the key takeaway, right here. A 4% surge like this during the Asia session, that is not a simple technical bounce. It's trend confirmation. It is objective evidence of where the smart money is placing its bets. All right, analysis phase is over. The signal is decoded, now we shift gears. We're moving from understanding the why to defining the how. This is the execution protocol. These are your key levels for tonight's session. Pay close attention. A break above 25,500 on the Nasdaq confirms the trend. But, and this is critical, that 24,900 level is the failure condition. A break below that, and the entire signal from Asia is invalid. So here are the two scenarios. If the Nasdaq holds support, the proxy leverage thesis is validated. Simple. However, if that 24,900 support level breaks, the probability of this being a bull trap goes over 80%. That is your primary risk. Your mission is to monitor these specific assets. You've got your key tech stocks like Nvidia, and then you've got the broader financials. Think of them as canaries in the coal mine. They'll either confirm or invalidate the sector coupling signal we've identified. So it all comes down to this. The question that defines tonight's session is simple. Are we looking at a gap and go or a gap and crap? The first 30 minutes of US trading, that's where we get our answer. That's when we'll know if Korea's signal leads to a real ascent or if it was just a reversal in disguise. Stay vigilant.